Austin Tech Connect is the official podcast of the Austin Technology Council. Founded in 1992, ATC exists to help unite the local technology ecosystem and to encourage the spread of community, collaboration, and conversations in Central Texas. This podcast is sponsored by SailPoint. They are a leading provider of identity security for the modern enterprise, empowering organizations worldwide to put identity security at the core of their business. With a foundation of artificial intelligence and machine learning, SailPoint Identity Security delivers the right access to the right identities and resources at the right time. Now, here is this week's episode.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Austin Tech Connect. This is the official podcast of the Austin Technology Council, and my name is Tom Singer. I have been hosting this show now for almost 2 whole years. We launched it in December 2 years ago, and we're coming up on 100 episodes. This is our 95th episode. And what we do on this show is we interview interesting people who are doing cool things in the Austin tech community that you may or may not know about, because we want to make sure that you're exposed to the who's who of getting things done around Austin. And today we're going to revisit, we've had some people from nonprofits on before, we're going to revisit the idea of what are tech companies doing to support our community. And we are really, really lucky because we are joined today by the executive director of a nonprofit called Pop Up Birthday. Now, I didn't know about this organization until I was told by the CEO of PlanView. I was having breakfast with Razat, and he was telling me of the ways his company gives back, because at ATC, we think that's really important, that our tech companies need to be engaged in our community. And he mentioned this nonprofit, and it got me really excited. And so he introduced me to the executive director. She and I hit it off. I said, you have to come on the podcast. So here we are today. What Pop-Up Birthday does is they celebrate kids in the foster system in a way that they haven't been celebrated before, and that is in helping celebrate their birthdays. And I'm going to let Kathi say everything about that. But Kathi Haralson is with us today, and she's been super involved in the community. She's been involved with Pop-Up Birthday for the last couple of years, but she's been giving back and serving on boards and doing things to help the greater good for Austin for as long as she can remember. So Kathi, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
glad to be here.
Pop-Up Birthday is 10 years old. I realize you've only been there a couple of years, but Pop-Up Birthday is 10 years old. Can you tell us about what the organization is and how it got founded?
Absolutely. Well, what we do is personalized birthday boxes for kids in foster care. And we were founded by a mom of 3 boys. And when they were little, as you know, all parents do, every Saturday is spent at birthday parties.
I remember those days of every single week.
Yeah.
It's a trip to Toys R Us, it's wrapping, and it's showing up at the birthday party where there's a bouncy house.
Absolutely. We've all done it. We've all had to split time between birthdays. And as she was kind of going to some elaborate birthdays, she has a heart for kids in foster care. And she did some digging and wanted to see how the kids in the foster care system were being celebrated, and realized that that was a missing hole in all of the basic needs and all the good work that other nonprofits were doing. So she founded Pop-Up Birthday in her guest room. The first birthday was a Frozen theme. And here we are 10 years later, still celebrating birthdays, and now celebrating our own as well.
That is so awesome. And when you talk about the fact that you provide birthday boxes, I was pretty impressed when I came by your facility and saw what that is. Can you tell everybody what is a birthday box?
So a birthday box is an entire celebration for a family and a child in a box. Think about opening up a box and glitter exploding. That's what we're trying to make happen. We have party supplies for wealth marginalized families that are just trying to celebrate their kids, but really need to put their money towards food, to put food on the table. We have presents, we have cake and icing, we have goodie bags, we have everything that you would need to celebrate a child and a party. Every child is asked their wishes, many times for the first time. You wouldn't believe how many kids we celebrate for the first time. And I don't mean babies, I mean teenagers. And so what we do is we ask them what they want, what they need, and then they always get something to read. And we were founded on this premise, and it still is intact today.
I love that. What they want, what they need, and something to read. So how is Pop-Up Birthday connected with the kids who are in foster care in the first place? How do you find out who the kids are who need to be celebrated?
That's a great question. We work through CPS caseworkers, CASAs, and group homes. So if you are serving a child in foster care, then we want to partner and work with you to be able to provide these boxes. We're serving over 1,200 children a year, which is greatly expanded over the past couple of years. And there are more kids out there. So we are always searching and looking because we don't want any child to not be celebrated on their special day.
Do we know how many kids there are in the foster system in Central Texas?
There are thousands. Yeah. Yes, there are thousands just here in Central Texas. So if you think about 1,200 being celebrated a year, that's a lot, right? Especially for a little staff of 2 with a lot of volunteers. But it's not even a drop in the bucket of kids that we know are out there that we're searching for and want to hear from their caseworkers.
So if you're polling the children directly, what do you want and need, and what do you like to read? I love the way that rhymes. I love the alliteration of it. If you're doing that, then you can't have like a warehouse that has everything in it, because what Bobby needs is going to be different than what Sarah needs. How do you get the stuff and how do you get what they need and want?
That's a great question too. Well, we have a very small space. We call it small and mighty. And what we do is we personalize every box so much so that we don't want to pull white Barbies off a shelf. We don't want to go back into a warehouse. We look at every child's detail, their background, what they want. They're varied. There are no 2 children that are alike. So their birthday boxes shouldn't be alike. So we shop at Walmart on the daily. We get a lot of Amazon packages here. And then we are lucky enough to work with a lot of businesses and a lot of individuals that have a heart for the kids that we're serving, that come alongside us to make sure that their wishes are provided for. But we raise money so that when we have 3 emergencies this week, and both CASAs and caseworkers have said, can you do it? And we don't want to ever have to say no. But if we didn't have funds waiting on some of those type of kids, then we wouldn't be able to do that. So fundraising is very important.
So what type of things fall into what a kid wants, and what type of thing falls into what a kid needs? And then what types of books? What do I find if this is delivered to a family and they open it up? What are the gifts then? Then we're going to talk about some of the stuff you put in all the boxes, but what are the personalized gifts? What are some of the examples of things that'll be in like maybe these emergency birthdays that you're serving this week, or just maybe a box that's sitting across from you right now in your office? What's in it?
Yes. So need, I don't love the need because it reminds us of the lack of resources that some of these children live with day to day. So when I speak to kids groups, I'm like, what do you think? Of course, want is real easy, right? So we start with need. What would be something that you need? Okay, it's clothing. Do you want to ask for underwear on your birthday? The resounding no is palpable, right?
That's not just the answer from kids. That's the answer from grown up. No, nobody wants socks and underwear for their birthday.
Absolutely. Nobody. We've all gotten it. We don't want it. But the bleak world that we live in the foster care system is that sometimes their needs are not met. And so it takes a host of nonprofits to make sure that they are. And so these kids, this is just one small way, but if you don't have your own toothbrush, that's a need. If you are going to a new middle school, you don't want to go in holey tennis shoes. That's a need. Clothes that fit, having more than one outfit. Those are all needs.
Wow.
So the wants are more fun. We love kids to ask for what they want, because one of the things that is important to us is that they have a voice, right? A lot of times we have caseworkers that say, this cute little boy looked up at me and said, I don't know, what do I want? And she was like, no, what do you want? And she said he couldn't tell me. Nobody's ever asked him that, is what came back to her as the caseworker. So we love that they have a voice to dream and think. And if they ask for items that are too big for us to be able to give, that's okay. Kids need to know that lesson too, right? All kids.
So if you're a 16-year-old, you can't ask for a Porsche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and we haven't had that, but we do get a lot of Apple iPads and a lot of PlayStations. And so, again, as any kid should, you have to be told no and why and how you save, and maybe we can help with some of it. We do have a lot of kids that they say, I know these are too expensive. I have $100 already saved up for these tennis shoes and I really want them. And so we can get them over the hump of that. And I love that lesson. I love being a part of that type of a want.
God, I
sure.
got a little tear in my eyes that a kid has saved $100 and needs a little bit more to get his tennis shoes. That's amazing. Yeah. So, and then do you poll them about what type of books they want to read? Do you poll them about what the reading thing is?
And a lot of them are very particular. And then we also get a lot of, they don't like to read. But we find something that we have fingers crossed we're going to inspire some reading in them. We've all gone through that too, right? Or had children that loved to read or didn't love to read. So you just keep trying. We do a lot of word searches. We actually do a lot of journaling, either for gifts or for a child that doesn't want to read. Because, you can imagine with all the trauma that these kids have experienced, there's a lot going on in their little brains trying to see where they fit in really big adult problems. And so we feel like a good pen and a journal is really important to some of, especially our teens. But we get a lot of baby books, a lot of children that are developmentally delayed, and we can help them and their families with some books. And then we just get a lot of unicorns and sports and, all the things that you would think we give out every day.
So it's interesting. You talked about, giving the blank journal. I mean, for any kid, not just a kid who's dealing with the issues of foster care. I remember getting a blank book that didn't have any lines in it. It wasn't really a journal. It was for art. Mm-hmm. And I liked drawing as a kid and, and a set of really good pencils. And it was so, I don't know, I had to be like 6, 7. It was so interesting that I could put something into a book. So I think the blank page book is exciting, even if they don't have to journal it, just if they like to draw. That to me is exciting. It's fascinating because I found out about you because Plan View supports you guys and helps you guys out. And it's interesting because when I came to your facility, I saw that all the boxes, they're not just brown cardboard boxes. They're white boxes that have all been decorated. And you were saying that often a lot of the companies, the tech companies and others, there are people who volunteer to decorate the boxes. And it was hysterical to me because one box just had little squiggles in different colors and the kid's name written in kind of nice penmanship. And the next box next to it looked like it was like from The Lion King, like the actual original artist had hand designed it in pastels. So you get a lot of variety of what volunteers can do for you, right?
Right, we do. And it's a good first step in with a lot of the companies that we work with because it's low touch. We provide the boxes and all anyone needs to do is provide markers and stickers and all the things that you might think that you would decorate with. And I think I was telling you this, but some of these boxes, we get, I don't know about drawing. I'm not very good at that. And then we get that box that you say somebody busted out The Lion King. And lo and behold, they're an artist, So we get a lot of different varieties of boxes, but there is a box for every child. And I think today I had a group in here earlier and they were helping me to put together some boxes for these emergency kids. And I found the first one that was like the perfect box. And you almost can't believe it. It was like it was done for the child. And then they also found the next two. And I thought they were going to burst into tears because they were so happy that we had, 25 boxes for them to look at. And we don't have a lot of boxes with cats. And this girl, her theme was cats. Yeah. And so when you find that kind of box, it's very exciting.
So you have volunteers decorate boxes just in a joyful way, and then you try to match the decorations with what's on the want and need sheet if you can.
Yes.
God, I didn't realize that. I thought they were all done, specifically like, here, you've got Johnny, you've got Mary. I love the fact that it's sort of the serendipity of it all in a way.
Yeah.
So
there's a little bit of both. Sometimes they're done for the particular child, but when you have an emergency situation, we don't have a lot of time. So we love to have a little bit of backup.
Nice.
We like slush funds here just to make sure that we can make these kids' boxes happen, even if we only have a day or two.
Now, in walking around your small office, there's all kinds of bins and boxes that has things like crayons and coloring. So in addition to the wants and the needs, you have different age-appropriate things that you add into the boxes based on who the kids are, and then you add a whole wall of cake mix and everything that could go with it, sprinkles and frosting and candles and, I don't know, everything that would make a great birthday cake. So what are the things that go in addition to what the kid filled out on their sheet and that you're able to match? What else goes in these boxes?
We put a party supply in every box because every family knows that they need something to do with these kids when they're at their homes or they're at a park for an hour and a half. And so every child gets, that could be bubbles for a baby. It could be, we do lots of board games, lots of card games, lots of Uno, lots of Candyland, all the things. Chalk. Then we do the cake and icing, and then we do goodie bags. And the thing that is unique and special about the goodie bag is, in our minds, we know how much these children move from home to home. And all of a sudden, they're in a new school, a new home. They're allowed to have their first party ever. And they get to stand at the end of the party and pass out goodie bags to their friends. We all remember how exciting a goodie bag was when we were younger.
I don't remember goodie bags back 45 years ago. I don't remember getting goodie bags at parties, but I certainly know it with my own kids that they all had to be something creative, and you wanted it to be something where the kid was happy to get it who came to the party, right? So I thought you had great. There was candy and stuff and stuff inside the bags. I thought they were great. And then how do you are those age appropriate too? Is the goodie bags change based on how old the kids are?
Yes. And that's what a lot of companies make too. I mean, everything is, babies are always going to be cheaper. Teens, while they tug at our heart, they are a little bit more expensive. And so they're all age appropriate because we don't want to put anything in a younger child's, no hard candy for a 2-year-old. But a lot of companies donate and make their own goodie bags and bring them in, and then we're able to put them in the boxes.
Oh, that is so great. So the other thing is that I didn't realize is how long some kids can be in foster care. And so you said that these go sometimes all the way up to age 21. Kids can stay as they go into sort of college if they choose to.
Right.
What do you have for sort of the older teens?
Well, a child at 18, they are an adult at that point, in quotes, and they can leave the foster care system if they so choose. If they stay, there are a lot of other, the state pays for their college if they go to a state school. So there are some things to wrap around support as they transition into being 21, and then they are out of the system. And so we do a lot for those kids, mainly the wishes and the needs are based on, I want to make money. I have a job and I'm taking 3 buses to get there. I need a lawnmower so I can start a lawnmower business. Like we have had, it runs the gamut, right? Or I want to go to some punk rock concert because my mom passed away and she loved this punk rocker. Well, that happened. It's like when you hear about those things, those are the ones that that you have to make happen.
So it couldn't happen, much like the Austin Technology Council. We couldn't do what we do for the community if it wasn't for sponsors and companies who volunteer both time and treasure. So you have a lot of companies that help you, that support you, both in providing time to stuff and build the boxes and put them together. But you also have people who donate so that you can have the funds to be able to buy the things that you need to do to provide to these kids. And I know we're in Austin. A lot of these companies come from the tech sector. And I learned of you through PlanView, who is just such a major supporter of so many things in the community. But who are some of the other companies that support? And what are some of the cool things companies have done that have maybe been unique that have helped you? Well,
I know you already mentioned PlanView, but I have to tell you, they're such a super supporter in all the ways that a nonprofit wants. They not only do a monetary donation, but they figure out where our needs are and always are willing to help. We also work with Q2 a lot, which
another ATC member.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Yes. Love Q2. Love the people that work there. Have lots of friends there, and we're very grateful. They love a good goodie bag making session. So we do a lot of goodie bag making with Q2. We've worked with Big Commerce. We've worked with Samsung and Dell, and we either have people in our office, although it's small, so we can only host a few people. We have things that you can take to your office. And then we have people that give, through Dell, every donation is matched. And so we love that as well.
So if a company wants to get involved, if they're listening to this episode of the podcast going, wow, I've never heard of Pop-Up Birthday. And I'm going to guess most people hadn't, because I try to keep my hands on a little bit of what's going on around town. If people are like, I've never heard of this, my company is looking for something to get involved with, and this is an easy and heart-tugging way to really help people and make a difference in the life of a child, how do they get involved, and what do you need from other tech companies?
Well, our website is popupbirthday.org, and we have a how to help section that is very easy to find. And it is, of course, there's a donate page on there. There's a volunteer page that explains all of our volunteer opportunities. And then there's a shop page. And that's what a lot of people like to do, because you are matched with a child. You see their background detail and you see their wishes, and you can donate one gift, or you can donate everything in their box.
Wow, that is awesome. So why isn't Pop-Up Birthday an international organization? Because it sounds like every community out there needs Pop-Up Birthday. Or are there organizations like yours that exist in other cities?
I mean, right? We're trying to take over the world. So stay tuned, because I have been shouting our name from the rooftop, and we do have so many loyal supporters, but they are growing. And so now keeping up with everybody and trying to expand is our next vision for how we're going to take over the world and spread joy and birthdays throughout every corner. But I do not know of nobody else in Austin and Texas does birthday parties for kids in foster care. There are some other out of this city groups that are doing birthdays, but not for kids in foster care at this time.
I just think it's so important. Like I said, it tugged at my heart when I heard about it. And there's a lot of entrepreneurs in Austin who like the idea of seeing things grow and world dominance. So if somebody's looking for a way to give back, I think you should find Kathi and help boost this to every community in the world. So,
thank you. I love to talk about pop-up. So I answer lots of questions every day on how we can work together.
So Kathi, you've done a lot in the community. You've served on a lot of boards and things like that. So you've been in Austin a while. What's your impression of the overall Austin community / tech community? Where do you think we've come in the last few years? And where do you think we're going just as a general community?
Yes. Wow. I mean, tech has definitely changed Austin, right? My husband is a third generation Austinite, wow. And I came in the 90s, which basically means I was born here. And so we have seen
I got to interrupt you. My kid, my wife and I were born in California. We moved here in 91. And my kids will tell you, you're never actually a Texan unless you were birthed on the soil. So yeah. my kids say,
I get that. Yeah. Those Texans, I know. Yeah, my kids would probably say the same thing.
But you married a Texan, so you get it by marriage.
Okay, yeah, I'll take that too. I got here as fast as I could, and but I have seen Austin change a lot, and I have seen it change a lot because of the tech sector. One of the things that I'm always struck with when I work with companies is how valuable their giving back is to the people that they are recruiting. So I have done a lot of work in recruitment and training for some of these companies, and they use nonprofits to partner with to show their worth and their value in more ways than just how much money they're making in their bottom line, because the the 20-year-olds today, they care about that. And our tech companies care about that. And they've cared about it for a while, but it just continues to get bigger and bigger and grow.
And I hear the same thing from some of our members is they just like the fact that they can tell the people who work for them and they can tell the people they're recruiting, look, we're not just here to make money. We support these charities, but we also support these business groups like the Chamber of Commerce or the Austin Technology Council because we support Austin. And when we support the economic groups, the business development groups, the groups like ATC and the charities like Pop-Up Birthday and so many others, that's a way to show their employees that it's more than the bottom line and they really care about the overall community. And companies do tell me they use that as part of their internal retention and their external recruiting. So I think you're right. And I think more companies need to be reminded that, how you give back. It used to be in this town, if you started to have some success as an individual or a company, someone would tap you on the shoulder and say, wow, you're having some success. How do you give back, either as an individual or as a company? And I don't know that people are asked that question as much as they used to be. And I think we need to remind people, if you're experiencing success and your company's experiencing success, how do you give back? And I think it's important. I think it's important to the company. I think it's important to the person, but I think it's important to the community.
Well, and as a fundraiser, the best fundraising relationships are ones that work for both parties, right? So we're here with a service and we're trying to make a difference. And all of the companies throughout Austin, they're trying to partner with people that matter to them. So it's a great match, but we want to make sure that what we're doing does match with the companies and vice versa, because we also don't want a bunch of volunteers that aren't really doing work that
they care
is
about.
Changing the lives of the children that we're serving.
Yeah, and you want people to care about the work they do when they volunteer. Yeah. That's right.
And they do. People are so caring. I'm always struck by the generosity and the care of people that live in this town.
So I am so grateful that the CEO of Planview introduced me to you. I want to pay attention and watch the growth that I know is ahead for Pop-Up Birthday and for you and your team and for the good work you do for so many kids in Central Texas and soon to be beyond. Do you have any final words for the audience of Austin Tech Connect?
I don't. Thank you for having me. I love connecting with anybody, especially those tech companies. And so it was so fun to meet you and hear what you're doing. And I'm so grateful that Razat, he connected us.
Yeah, I am too. So again, best of luck to everything you're doing. And for everybody listening, if your company is looking for a great way to give back where it can easily, I got a little tear in my eye when I was in their office and she was telling me what they did. If you want to really touch your people to be touched as they volunteer, check out Pop-Up Birthday and you can find them at popupbirthday.org. So again, Kathi, thanks for being here. And thank you to everybody who listened to this episode of the show. You know what? I need you to spread the word. More people are listening to Austin Tech Connect than they were a year ago. And I need more people to be listening next year. We are soon to hit our 100th episode. And so make sure that you're tuning in every week and sharing it with all your coworkers and your other friends in Austin Tech. And we need your help too. Make sure that your company is a member of the Austin Technology Council. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Austin Tech Connect podcast. Make sure your company is a member of the Austin Technology Council and add your voice to the future of our tech ecosystem in Central Texas.